Hey everybody, Forever Richard 82 here. Hope you're staying safe and being well out there. So, there's a game I like to talk about today that I got for my 14th birthday through my parents. It's something I requested. And it was more so a curiosity piece than a game I legitimately wanted. I was thinking it couldn't be bad, and I was mostly right, as you will see. But that game would be the Capcom classic Street Fighter Alpha 2, or 02 if you're in Japan. This is the same copy I got for my 14th birthday. I never sold it, never traded it, but you'll notice something. You notice there's no Capcom logo on there. Now, I don't know the exact reason from the top of my head, but if I want to give my own personal, how should I say this, personal belief on it, I think it has something to do with the new made Nintendo chip, the SDD1. Now, the SDD1 was a chip that ran parallel with the Rico CPU on the SNES with compression and decompression of graphics and sound and little of both. That's why, and you'll see why that's relevant when I show the gameplay. But yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 2 was released in 1995 in the arcade, and it was released a year later for all systems. Now, it was, systems of the time, that basically the Saturn and the PlayStation. And I was kind of jealous that my friends had this game and I didn't. And I wanted the SNES game for a curiosity piece. I really wanted to see how it ran it. I was, very curious of how this game would run. And, for the most part, I was very surprised. And I'm going to do a Ken Let's Play on Street Fighter Alpha 2 on this series. But unfortunately, before that, or fortunately, fortunately, depending on how you look at the shit, I need to show off a little bit of the arcade game so we can have something to compare it to. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this fat mouth of mine, cut the footage here, and we'll go into the gameplay so you can see Street Fighter Alpha 2 in the arcade, and then we'll switch gears to one of my favorite ports. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this party going, huh? Alright, here we go. I want you guys to see the intro, which is going to be relevant when you do a playthrough of the version I intend to play. And it's a great intro, and it gets me revved up, so let's sit back and enjoy this wonderful intro. Shush! Yeah, that was beautiful. That is a very beautiful intro. Fantastic in every way, shape, and form. But as you can tell, it looks beautiful. Anyways, like I was saying before, this was made on the CPS2 board, which was a continuation of the CPS1 board that was made by Capcom. And those games were made with basically the original Street Fighters, Street Fighter 2, and the beat-em-ups that we all love, King of Dragons, Knights Around. All those were CPS1 games. CPS2 started off at Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and then moved on from there. So any fighter you've played, or any Capcom arcade game you played from 95 to, I want to say maybe 99. Yeah, 99 sounds about, because then the CPS3 was released and made as Street Fighter 3. That's another story for another day. And I don't care. I'm going to say right here, right now, Street Fighter 3 is a fucking terrible game. The characters are stupid, they're uninspired, and they're garbage. You can take your Dudleys and your Oros and shove them up your fucking ass. That is a terrible fucking game, and Capcom should be ashamed of themselves. Right. And I think they noticed that because we don't really see them much often in modern iterations of Street Fighter now, do we? I thought so. Anyways, let's play a couple rounds. Now, yeah, you got cast characters. You got Ryu, Adon from the first Street Fighter. You got Capcom. You got Capcom, Jesus. Okay, I should explain something here for those who don't know about Alpha. Alpha basically is the storyline prior to Street Fighter 2. I don't think it's Street Fighter 1, though, because I would say it would be before Street Fighter 1, because I think Capcom would remember to put the shoes that Ryu had in Street Fighter 1 if you guys ever played it. Don't, though. That game is terrible. It's bad. Anyways, you have characters from basically some of the old games, and we also have a joke character. I'll explain. You know, you got Ryu from Street Fighter 1 and 2, and so forth, and Ryu and Ken, mainstays. You got Guy from Final Fight, which was, if you guys didn't know, Street Fighter 2, or Final Fight was known as Street Fighter 91, but it became Final Fight. You all should know that story by now. If you don't, then we'll do some research. Or if you want me to, I don't know, do a video on it, like a short video, I can. That's fine. Adon is from Street Fighter 1. He's the guy you fought before Sagat, and he's a cheap whore in that game. He's a cheap whore in this game. You have Chun-Li, her waifu self, you know. You have Dulcine, who was, of course, in Street Fighter 2. You have Gen, who was in Street Fighter 1. Sakura wasn't in any of them. Rolanto is a boss from Final Fight. So you got Zangief. Charlie, which is known as Nash in Japan, which I thought that was interesting. That's basically the guy that gets gunned down in the ending of this game, and it's also mentioned in the instruction booklet of the SNES version of Street Fighter 2. You have Birdie, a worthless character who gives a fuck. He was also in Street Fighter 1. Rose, it wasn't any of them. Sodom, which is known as Katana on the SNES because of goddamn censorship. He's here. He's also a Final Fight character. And, of course, you got Sagat. I mean, he has the eye patch. So this took place after Street Fighter 1. Because, as you all may know, in many magazines and stories of word of mouth... I'm sorry, the Scar. I am so stupid. Yeah, excuse me. The Scar. He has a Scar in this game. So this had to have taken place after Street Fighter 1. Because the story goes, he got the Scar from Ryu doing a Dragon Punch. I know that sounds absolutely fuck all these days... But back then, that was a big deal. We talked about this shit like it was the second coming of Christ. That's how we were back then. Let's see, Akuma, his first appearance, I believe, was in Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, if you beat the game without using a continue, which is impossible in the arcade, because that game is a dirty bitch. I don't care what anyone says. That game is unbalanced to hell. They're like, no, it's the most balanced game in the series. How do you figure? Anyways, then you have, I mean, they even have guides on how to beat Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. That's how hard it is. Not my thing. I don't like it. I like the original Super. I'll stick with that. Then, of course, you have M. Bison, and he was also not seen in Street Fighter 1. So this had to have taken place before Street Fighter 2, once more, and after Street Fighter 1. And, of course, you have Dan Hibiki, which is a joke character. And if you don't know, Dan Hibiki is actually Capcom's joke take on Ryo Sakazaki, which pisses me off because Dan's a queer. I don't care what anyone says. He has a pinky, and he's a fucking joke. He's good in SNK vs. Capcom Match in Millennium on the Neo Geo Pocket, but in any other game, he's a pile of shit. He is no way as cool as Ryo Sakazaki. That triggers me because Ryo's my fucking, he's my tiger, man. He's my tiger. Anyways, yeah, he's my dope character. Him and Andy, man, we wreck worlds together. Anyways, we're done with that conversation. So let's go ahead and unpause and play a couple matches. And I'll pick Ken, because that's what we're going to do in the Let's Play with on the Super NES board. Oh, the annoying bitch known as Sakura. She has good music, though. So we can enjoy that much, at least.
Round one, fight!
And for some of you that may or may not know, Sakura actually stands for cherry blossom in Japanese. I'm pretty sure most of you know that. And if you don't, well, now you know. And the more you know, the better it is, right? I mean, as you can tell, it looks great. I mean, just look at the detail and the sprites, the music, the animation. It is so much of a step up from the CPS-1. Trying to do my three-pointer and it's not doing it. Yeah. When she jumps. It doesn't matter. She's gone anyways. One thing about Street Fighter Alpha 2 you'll notice probably right away, the game is pretty easy. It can get tough depending on what character you fight against. And later up the ladder, basically how a good fighter is. And some fighters don't do that. I like the ones that have a steady decline, or a steady incline of difficulty. And you may notice Rolanto's music is the same as a level you fight them in Street Fighter. Or, excuse me, Final Fight. Not that it's important, but thought we'd throw that out there. Yeah, the music in this game is great. The gameplay is great. You'll have a lot of fun if you haven't played Alpha. Like, any of them. Because I don't see them in any collections today anymore. The only collection I remember from times past... There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Fucking 3-point hitter to the face. That's very satisfying. But basically what I was saying, before we move on to the SNES version, you get the idea. I just wanted you guys to see some gameplay. But I don't... To go on a little bit of a rant here, and I've been doing that a lot on this video, because I just feel like it. Alright? Why is there no more iterations of Alpha collections? The last one I remember is Street Fighter Alpha Anthology for the PS2. I have not seen them since. They may have been released on Xbox 360 or PS3's little storefronts. They may have been released on it. I have not seen them, though. We've had all these Capcom fighting collections and shit, such as the fighting collection in general, and the only thing that's on there is Hyper Street Fighter 2. And then we have all the Darkstalker games, which are dope as fuck. I'm finally glad they got around to that. Anyways, that's a rant for another time. Yeah, so if you guys know of any modern releases of Street Fighter Alpha games that I can find, let me know. I have 2 of them. Actually, no, I do have all 3, and I'll explain that at the end of the video. But now we got a Let's Play to do. We got to play this game on the SNES with Ken. So sit back, relax. Let's get this party started, shall we? Alright, here we go. We're going to play the SNES version of the game, and then we're going to use Ken. So we're going to play it from beginning to end. It shouldn't take too long, but now you can see why this port is actually very impressive. Now, a lot of you snobs are going to be like, oh, this looks like dog shit. This looks stupid. It shouldn't even be on the system. That's not the point. The point is they're taking weak hardware, and they're seeing what they can push out of it. And to me, this is fucking impressive. And so is Doom. So for you haters, suck my dick, sit on this, get to the elbow, the ride's over. Fuck you. Anyways, let's go. I'll play the intro again. They didn't have to make the intro in the game, but they did. And it's kind of impressive. Look, I know it's compromised a little bit. There's a couple things that they didn't show, but, you know, the fact that it's there, that's what amazes me the most. It's like, okay, a fucking intro, that's not like, right? I mean, I get what you're saying, but they didn't have to include it. You know, they could have just included the game. Now, here's my question, though. Alpha 2, why not Alpha 1? Alpha 1, I think, would have been a better fit because there's less there, and they probably could have maybe not as compressed the sound as much. Because, as you can tell, the sound is horribly compressed, but that's because it's on cartridge. It's on a fucking 32-bit megabit cartridge, for fuck's sake. So it's obvious why it's not optimized, or it's optimized to the best of its ability. It's not, you know, you can only do so much with cartridge. Anyways, I'm just rambling. Let's just play. Now you got everything from the arcade game, since everything's kind of a little shrunken down. And we're going to play as Ken Masters. Why? Because I want to. Because I love Ken Masters, but, you know, I'm more of a Ryu fan. And I'm trying to play this at the correct ratio, so all you ratio homos out there, don't get all pissed off. I'll play in turbo, because I like it fast. Oh, look, I'm fighting Sakura, just like I did in the arcade version. Fantastic. Let's beat the shit out of her so we can go forward. But as you can see, most of the detail is here. I mean, everything's a little compromised. The sound is kind of crap. But notice something right here. Remember that SSS, the chip in there? But I can't fucking speak worth of shit today. That's basically it's loading and reloading shit on the fly. It's crazy how it works. Like I said, I don't know too much into it, but I will definitely link a video of the modern vintage gamer who did a very good video on it. That he could probably speak on it more. I play games. He's more of the technical front because he's a coder. But he's a great YouTuber, and if you don't watch his shit, you need to. It's good stuff. He's awesome. You know, shout out to Modern Vintage Gamer. He has no idea who the hell I am, and it is what it is. I'm a small YouTuber. I'm not much. Anyways, I never got a chance to play this in the arcade. I played the first one and the third one in the arcade. I never got a chance to play. No arcade had it! And I was pissed off because I always, you know, I played it for the PlayStation and obviously the SNES and Street Fighter, and because I fucking love Street Fighter, always have, and I could never play this one in the arcade until much later. We're talking after the year 2000. But I played 1, I played 3, and you know, the thing that upsets me is I love 3, and people seem to hate the soundtrack to it. Why? That's one of the best soundtracks in Street Fighter ever. It's not the happy, campy shit you got here. It's like hard, and it sounds like industrial even. It's metal, it's great. But yeah, I'm babbling about other things, but I just want you to take a port. Look at this port. It's isn't it not impressive? I mean, obviously, the sound is compromised, and there's load times. There's no scream when you kill your enemy, or your opponent. But the fact remains, this is running on hardware it shouldn't be running on. And it's playable, and it's fun, it's fluid. The controls work absolutely flawlessly. I can do special moves here. It all works. And that's the important thing. I mean, obviously there are better ways to play this game now. I just did one. But the point is, this was back in 96. You know, you didn't have much choice. You had a DOS port, Saturn, PlayStation, and the SNES. Now, if you were like a poor kid like me, you didn't have a computer, and you didn't have a PlayStation. I didn't at that point, but I had one a couple months later, by chance. And I sold it like shortly after that because I wanted to play Zelda Ocarina of Time. I told that story. But yeah, so I never got really a chance to play this in the arcade, and this is the only way I could have played Alpha 2. You know what? I was happy. I did not feel like I was being left out in the cold. And that's what I loved about Capcom. They really tried to stretch out the SNES until they could stretch it out no more. I'm just sad that we never got, until 2002, Mega Man and Bass, because it was 1998. I get it. The Super NES was pretty much gone at that time. It was done. I think the last game made by Nintendo was Kirby's Dream Land 3, which is a good send-off for the Super Nintendo, by the way. But still, they should have released that. You could tell Capcom loved the Super Nintendo. They were big supporters of it. And the fact that something like this was able to be made through their ingenuity in the SDD1 chip, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, as I say. You can speak numbers all day, but that means absolute fuck all unless you can provide what it can do, and this port does it in spades. I still love this port. I play it from time to time. It does not faze me at all. People are like, oh, but you can play it on main. You can play it on the PS2 Anthology Collection if you want. I don't give a fuck. Call it nostalgia. Call it, my youth. Call it what you will. But this is one badass, fun port of the game. And you can probably tell it's super easy as well. But that's okay. If I ever need a challenge, I'll just turn up the difficulty. It's not that big of a deal. I call this Fat Bison, because I know that's his muscles, but does he not look fat? I think he looks fat more so than muscular. Except when he does his signature pose. And don't even get me started on Bison on Street Fighter Alpha 3. Everyone knows how much of a fucking dickhead Bison was in the third game. Holy balls. He did the fucking Shin Psycho Crusher. And it was a screen clear and just kick your ass move. Like the Psycho Crusher. And you were done. Game over. And like I said, you lost in the arcade, you couldn't continue on them. It was complete bullshit. Now, what I like about Alpha 2 or Alpha 1, both of those, this one and that one, see Katana fucking censorship. Anyways, every character has their own final boss. I like that. That's a neat idea. You don't have to fight the same guy with, every character in the game. You can fight basically their rival. You probably know who Ken's final boss is if you haven't played this yet.
Round 1, fight!
I think Saddam's design here is awesome. I mean, he looks similar in Final Fight, but here with the CPS2 look, it's amazing. I wish I could have seen him in more games. They should have made like a side story with Katana. Or I'm sorry, Sodom. But then parents would be like, that says Sodom! Oh my god, the Bible and Sodom are bad, naughty words! Fuck off! I mean, Final Fight Streetwise, it's not a good game, but it's also not terrible. I actually got some enjoyment out of it. I would rather play Revenge, though, to be honest. If you guys don't know what Revenge is, it's a fighter that was released on Saturn, and one day I may, if I can get it working, which I haven't been able to yet, we'll have to play that on stream or something sometimes. Let me know in the comments what you feel about that. Shinyuken! Take a seat, Katana. Or I'm sorry, Sodom! It's funny how the tables have turned. Nintendo used to be this all super family-friendly shit, and now they're releasing hentai games on the Switch. I'm not complaining here. I mean, I'm not a man of culture, necessarily. Some may disagree with that, because I'm not much into the harem. I don't even really like hentai all that much. I did when I was a teenager, though, because, well, let's just say the boobs and butts and all that weren't all overly portioned. I don't like that. That doesn't turn me on at all. Back in, like, the 80s and 90s, though, they had decently sized busts and booty and everything. That was more my flavor. Bigger doesn't always mean better. As facts. Guy, I used to be a good guy player, but then, lately I've been trying to play him. Well, no, I wouldn't say lately. Last time I played as him, I kept getting my ass kicked. I'm not as good as when I used to be. I used to be a really good guy player. It would piss my brother off because he's a spamaholic, and he has a lot of, like, counter moves that the PC never really uses, I noticed. I don't know why that is. But, yeah, my brother Michael hated playing this game with me if I played this guy. To the point where if I picked Guy, when we decided to have, like, a little bit of a tournament at my house, because we had tournaments, I mentioned that. If I picked Guy, he would give the controller to one of the other guys. He'd be like, hey, Collier, you can play against my brother. Fuck this shit. Good times. Good times. Sometimes I wonder what those guys are up to these days, We all lost contact. It happens, so, it's life. Everyone drifts, right? We drift and die, as Puddle of Mud states. You know what's sad about that song? There's probably people out there that actually fucking off themselves to it. I know, this is a dark, depressing conversation we're having during gameplay. But it's sad. It's true. That song is depressing as fuck. It's a good song, though. Puddle of Mud had a couple good bangers in their time. Alright, we're moving up the ladder. Got 3 people here. We got Zane Queef. He looks all fucking methed out in his fucking picture, though. Look at him. I just snorted a line. I'm gonna be up for days. I'm gonna kill everybody, comrade. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Now, he was huge in the arcade. And you can tell by looking at Zane Queef here especially that the animations have been compromised. But come on. The fact that a 16-bit console can run this without add-on Sega is fucking fantastic. I love this shit. That's what was so interesting about the 16-bit era. They found like so much interesting shit to do. It just kept you exciting. What is there to look forward to today, guys? Be honest with me. What is there to look forward to anymore with gaming? It's the same shit. It just looks prettier. It's just, for kids, that's great. For old fucks like me, I don't even, it's like, I look at it, I'm just like, okay, it looks photorealistic. Okay, fantastic. Now what? But I can get so interested in something like this because this was primitive for the time frame. Like, the SNES was Very, you know, for the time it was fucking fantastic, but now it's considered primitive. But it still blows me away what they could do with it. That's what I'm saying. Same with the NES. Holy shit. The NES, they fucking just went ahead and they made that thing their bitch. They did everything. They put in, like, scroller chips and mapper chips and sound modules. I mean, they fucking made that their bitch, and it... Oh, it's so awesome. That's why I'm so passionate about retro gaming. It's just because they were so creative and so amazing. I know this went from a Let's Play to a fucking rant, but it keeps it interesting. At least in my opinion. You guys may be like, okay, this is boring, click off, and then go watch something else. And that's fine. You have that within your right. I gotta fight Rose. Rose can be a pain in the ass once in a while.
Round 1, fight!
Also, fun fact, if you want to know more about me, of course, her themes on Alpha 3 is called Scarlet, and that's probably my favorite song in the game, next to Chun-Li's and Vega's. Alpha 3 just had a dope soundtrack, and I'm surprised the fans hated it. Well, but probably because they don't like change. Change could be a bad thing, I agree, but not in that case. Fuck no, it was great. She's being a blockosaurus. What else is new? Alright. We can spam some fireballs. I got the power of the Neo Geo CD controller. So this is like dealing with Ryu right now with a fireball. Fireball Wars. You guys pretty much had those, right? For all you old-timers that used to play this game in the arcade, you guys had Fireball Wars, right? Between Ryu and Ken. Those are legendary, man. No one should take that away from anybody. Because that was some dope-ass awesome shit. And other characters you could do too, like Rose, for instance, here. She wants to be a blockosaurus, so I gotta take matters in my own hands, right? Yes, of course. You're not gonna trap me in the corner, you bitch. I'm gonna tear your ass up here and throw your ass in the fucking water. Give you the fishes. I'm pretty sure the fishes will enjoy that. Because you yourself's pie smells like fish. Fish like fish. Or something. It's kind of, you know, I will admit, the non-screaming is kind of stupid. It's just KO. But, you know, you get used to it. It's really not that bad, honestly. Like I said, back then, this was awesome. Alright, now I get to fight my final boss, as Ken. And that's, you guessed it, Ryu. There's so many ways to pronounce his name. There's no right way, to be honest. I call it Ryu because there's R and Y and then U. But if you play without using continue, you fight a other character. So in this case, we fight Akuma. And he's a toughie. But yeah, we even have the cutscenes, as I like to call them. I mean, this port has it all. It's just compromised just a little bit. It's impressive, really. He can be a pain in the dick. I mean, I still would like to see, you know, I'm pretty sure the Genesis could have done this, but it would be so worse than this. You know what I mean? I mean, now everyone's like on Genesis dick lately, like with making new like homebrew games and such. I mean, they're making Final Fight for the Genesis, and I'm actually interested in that. I really am. I'm not gonna pay $60 for it. Fuck no. But I still would like to play it at least once. Because there's a lot of development tools now for the Genesis. Shoosh. So they're basically pushing that now. And that's fine. I would love to see that kind of love with the SNES, because I think it could go even further than this. I really think so. But no, everyone's on Genesis dick all of a sudden. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but okay, fine. I don't hate the Genesis. I really don't. I'm just sick of Sega fanboys thinking they could steal our glory. Who still makes consoles? Exactly! I love throwing that in their face. It makes me feel good. And they'll never make a console because what's his nuts? I can't think of his name, nor do I care. before he died, he gave Sega money and just said, "Get out of the console business. You have no business getting there." There's a story about that during the death of the Dreamcast and everything, and I'm not surprised I lost on Akuma because he's an asshole. So, anyways, we'll continue. It wasn't a one credit clear, but I got was close, right? Gotta give me some credit, just a little bit, not too much. I don't think I have to fight Akuma now that I lost to him, but I could be wrong. Oh, no. You fight... Okay. Yeah, you fight Ryu. I thought maybe... If you get to... Never mind. I'm thinking something else entirely. My brain is splat today, if you haven't noticed. Alright, it's time to beat my rival. It would have been nice if I could have beat Akuma for this playthrough, but... Can't win them all, as I say. As you can tell, Ryu, whatever, is being a little bitch. Let's just Dragon Punch him to death. Okay, he's fighting back now. Bullshit! There we go. Get out of here. But when you beat this game, you'll see why Mr. Ryu has the headband. It's also explained in the animated movie. If you got the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, you got a DVD version of the animated movie. Well, he has a headband here, but you'll see what I mean when I beat him. Hey, you know what? It's a classic song. You dirty ass! I hate you, you fucking dragon wannabe piece of shit. There, your time is done. Get out of my face. I love Ryu. You guys know I'm a big Ryu fan, anyways. I mean, Ryu, whatever. Yeah, I'm a big fan. But Ken has a place. He's kind of like the Andy like I said, Andy Bogart. I'll explain after the ending. They're talking like dude bros. I still think Ryu's face in his ending, it looks like he got stung by a bee. I mean, look how swollen his face is. But that is Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the SNES. A wonderful port and a wonderful game, definitely. It's definitely worth your time if you're interested in playing some obscure SNES games that are not much talked about these days. But it's also a port of a game that you can find everywhere. You can find other better ports, obviously, if you're looking for that arcade accuracy. But for something that shouldn't have been possible in the first place, much like Doom, Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the SNES. So, yeah, I got this at my 14th birthday, and it is still a port that is very loved today. I love the hell out of it. It's a great game, and it plays perfectly. The controls are fluid, fine. The only thing we all can agree on is the loading times are kind of shit, and of course the sound. But you can't really blame the SNES for that. It wasn't meant to run games like those, and the fact that it does, chef's kiss 100 times over. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm in the description below, I'm going to link Modern Vintage Gamer's video on this game. He gives all the technical aspects of it. But, you know, it's funny too, is the SNES version has endings, but then, you know, you play like, trying to think of what game it was, I think it was Alpha. The first Alpha, because I meant to mention that earlier. I do have the first Alpha on Game Boy Color. There's no endings to that game. It just says, congratulations, shows a portrait of your character and who it is. That is also a great port that I'm willing to play on this channel if you guys want me to do a video on that as well. I played Alpha 2 on stream before. I played Alpha 1 on stream before as well. But I wanted to make a video dedicated to those because they deserve respect for being existing. It's like, thank you guys. Like, I want to thank these. If these were real things, I would thank them for their existence because they were very cool to see with something that wasn't supposed to run them, something that was supposed to just be its own thing. It's just, or you can't. I mean, I just can't believe this runs on the SNES. It's crazy. Same thing with Doom. I know Doom is... Look, I know Doom on the SNES. I'll say it right now. It is a bad port. Okay? Shit on me all you want for liking it. Okay? But y'all... You guys don't shit on me for liking Rise of the Robots now, do ya? And that's a terrible fucking game. We all can... Anyways, I'm going off on the fucking rant. I always am. But guys, thank you for watching. If you're up to this... to the ending. But yeah, I really appreciate the support, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video for what it is worth. I am Forever Edgy 82. I'm signing off for the evening. Well, signing off for this Let's Play anyway. You guys take good care of yourselves. Remember to keep gaming, keep loving each other, and keep it retro. And until the next time we see each other, take care. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked what you saw and would like to support my channel, please consider being a patron. I'll put your name up with these fine folks who have donated to this channel, and that would be awesome to have you on board. If not, that's entirely up to you. I hope you have a good day and take care.